here's the look from Dan Gilbert as he wanders around. And Bob Tasca takes his burnout as he's ready to face Del Worsham side by side. They are both in the field. Del Worsham, of course, this weekend has Dickie Venables as the crew chief on that car. Big switch up at the last minute here. And here comes Bob Tasca, his second race at Indy. He started 15th here last year.
So Bob Tasca's coming off that win in Reading and has that momentum. Wants to basically go out there and really just keep that momentum going into the countdown, hopefully with a win here at Indy. Now, see Daniel, he picks up the body to let the crew members make all the final adjustments. A lot of times they're just turning the computer on. Some of them run a, you see right on top of the fuel tank, they have the idle computer readout on the monitor. They'll pull that monitor off and pull that away. They want to make sure the idle is just right before they send the driver in and stage the car.
And then Dan steps away from the line as Bob Tasca brings it forward. Jack Beckman celebrating as he goes past the grandstand at the start line. Kind of unique here where they have that one grandstand angled at the start line. Used to be a tower. Now it's a great grandstand. Whoa, a little fire there. Takes out one of the blocks. Bob Tasca now has his problems. It's going to change his situation. He will stay in 8th place and Del will stay in 6th. But he's got some repair work to do.
Yeah, that body's not as bad as Bob Bodie's, but it probably took a pretty good hit there. Looks like you see Bob climb out of the top of that race car. Probably a little upset surveying the damage, and he says, yep, that Ford body's pretty much junk. Wow.
A little trouble getting the body up. Bob Tasca helps him. Now they're in there with all the fire extinguishers. Let's see what happened here, Mike.
Watch right side. Bob Tasca, I mean, goes out there, had some decent numbers, and then it spun the tires and then backfired big time after it spun the tires, and obviously split that body as we saw when they tried to lift it up. Watch the left side of your screen. Goes out there and it's just going to start spinning the tires, and boy, kaboom, big fire. That was a little bit more than a backfire because that thing was burning pretty good. Probably had some rods out the side of that thing. Take a look at our Megamo, 600 frames per second. You can see a lot with this this piece of equipment. And right here, that's the burst panel up in front of the injector right there. That's supposed to relieve the pressure. You see the cylinders go out as it starts to spin the tires, and then boom, man, that thing really launched it. That injector is
gonna have to make those burst panels a little bigger.
Well, you know, some explosions are just too big, you know, and that's, I think that was one of them. It looked like it lifted the injector right off the top of the supercharger.
And Dan Gilbert back on the starting line watching his car go. Uh-oh, that's not good. Already on his way. He knows there's going to be work to be done. Let's go get things ready to go. Back in 2005, remember this? Whoa.
Same job that we saw Daniel lifting that body up, and what happened on this particular incident, they took and it hit the throttle linkage on the top of the injector, and there's no way for the driver to hold that engine because it's a centrifugal clutch. Basically just blows your foot off of the clutch pedal and it moves the car once that engine RPM comes up.
Well, a huge moment for Bob Tasca as he has an explosion that lights up that car, kicks the burst panel out, and does some pretty serious damage to the body. The Supermo, it caught every frame of it, 600 frames per second. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And Bob Tasca, well, I think he's got the money, but he's going to need to spend some of it. We saw about $80,000 worth of bodies destroyed here, and Bob Tasca's was the most recent. We'll be back, and when we do come back, we'll be talking with John Force, and Top Fuel will be coming up.